So what's gone on, I hear you ask? So we're on the River Avon, which you have to pay an additional licensing fee for. We paid £85 for 30 days. I'm recording inside just due to the sound quality, hoping that you can hear me better. Basically, it started snowing and then it started raining, then it started sleeting, snowing, and then a combination of all three above. That is mean. I am actually trying to hold the camera steady, but Willow's in my face. Literally in my face. She was jerking the camera. However, it has stopped snowing, sleeting and raining, and I was planning on moving today on the River Avon. I've just had a man knock on the boat from the River Avon Trust, I believe they're called, asking me if I was okay and explaining to me that the river is now in red and we shouldn't move. By we, I mean me and the dogs. Dave's at work. He advised me to retie the boat because when we arrived, Willow was jumping a foot out of the boat, up and out, and now that the flooding's happened, she's jumping, well, I'd say a foot down. The man explained to me that the river is actually now in flood by about 4 foot. I did tie onto the, I don't know what they call them, I call them the bobbins or pins, but he wants me to retie the boat onto the flood poles, because then that means that as the water rises, the boat will rise and descend, hopefully, in the right area. The problem with the flood is I know I'm on a boat, and yes, we can go up and that's no problem, we will float, but it's when the water recedes, you don't want the boat half on the bank and half in the water and thereby tipping over. So I'm going to pull the boat back, retie it so we're secured to the ascending and descending rings on the river poles to make us safer. He said that it'll be in red until Sunday. I'm hoping we can move on Sunday because I need to be somewhere Monday, Tuesday, and I won't be able to move the boat there, and obviously I want to be able to leave the boat knowing that it's safe. That's all up in the air. I might just end up cancelling that appointment and staying with the boat, making sure that we're all safe on the river. That's what I'm going to do now. Anyway, let's go outside. It's pretty windy, I'm sorry. That's the ring down there, and obviously they go up and down, and obviously me stepping out. Well, it's substantial. We're up anyway. So because I tied onto the pins, what I need to do is I need to move the boat back so she's sitting, and the reason why I went forward was to enable another boat to come in. But as we're in red, obviously no boats are going to come through the bridge because obviously they're dealing with the current of the river. We've been advised not to move. I was tied slackly. Now particularly my bow rope is going to be quite taut. I need to move the boat back so it's sitting in the middle of these 3 poles, and then I know we'll be safe. Left the gangplank there. I've altered it slightly. I took the rubber mat away. It was lifting. I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, I think it helps. Give the sailors a chance to work. If you've enjoyed me prepping the boat for further flooding, then give us a thumbs up. I hope you never find yourself in a flood. This isn't a how-to, this is how I would deal with it. I'm sure there's much more qualified people out there. If you're ever unsure, always phone CRT or whichever waterways authority you're on. They will guide you, they will help you. So that's the bridge we came through yesterday. And this is the current, this is the wind on the river. It's flowing obviously to the River Severn, which is that way, the way we came. But going through bridges will be a problem. Dirty wellies. I think I'm going to take them off, put some other shoes on, and then dip them in the canal. sticky stuff. I think I need a GoDaddy. Isn't that one that washes the dogs and your boots and things? I think that's what I need. They're not brilliant. They're going to have to stay outside. We don't have a mud room. Straight into our saloon. Brilliant. We're fine, I think. I've had to rework the mooring of the boat somewhat. We're about to burst over. You can see where it's coming in. You can see where it's bursting. The water's still rising clearly. So I've had to, yeah, it's coming up. And my fear is I'm going to lose the grass or the ability to get off the boat with the dogs. Roped, as I said. Excuse the mud on the boat, it is muddy. Now the buoys, you'll note, are absolutely useless. They're ineffective now because the boat's so high. So what I've done is I put our big buoys round the flood poles in hopes that it keeps us off the bank. We're now walking through water. And you'll note it's coming up on this back end as well, so I think I've re-roped it in time. I've redone the gangplank, so what we've got there is we've got two gangplanks, one metal and one plastic. I'm not sure the plastic would hold Willow's weight, hence why I put the metal one in there. I'm struggling because Dave manufactured this gangplank from a accessibility ramp. And well, it's not, we've never used it, so we've never put it into action, but it's not currently doing its job. We will see, because as the boat rises, them catches are uncatching. So I've put the rope there in hopes that it catches the rope. It does mean we are rubbing our paint off. I've also put a bungee on. I don't even think that will hold the weight of it, and I've bungeed them both together. As we've been talking, the water's coming in. Anyway, don't worry about me, because my next job is I'm going in the engine bay. There's mud all over the boat. I'm absolutely sick to the back teeth of mud. I'm going in the engine bay, and what I'm going to do then is I'm going to dig out all the puppy pads. I'm just balancing up the ramp. Dig out all the puppy pads and put them down in the boat, because there will come a time, and this is me just forethinking, that I'm not going to be able to get these dogs off the boat, and when that happens, I don't want them to go to the toilet in my boat, and they will hold it for a certain amount of time, but if they're anything like me, they are going to have to go eventually. Hello, I had to take my jacket off. I've been working hard. You can't hold back the water. There's nothing you can do. It'll be what it will be. I can't see us floating away. My concern is getting the dogs off. We have this gangplank which is precariously balanced on the side of our boat. It's also ripping away our paintwork and taking us down to bare metal. Dave's not going to be pleased, but to be quite honest with you, I would sacrifice anything for our dogs. Well, for any dog really, but particularly trying to get ours off to enable them to go to the toilet. I've done all this work, it's still filling up. I mean, that's come up in the last, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The water's still heading towards us, so that's not slowing down. I've got a feeling we're going to lose the land. Certainly the ability to get off, to get to the land. What do you reckon? 5 inches maybe, and then it's gone. I doubt the dogs will go out then. I've retied her. I took the back rope off and I put it more of a centre line, because we don't have a pole in this area, so we need to glide up and down with that one. Dave says he's coming. As to whether he'll be able to get into the boat or not, I don't know. He's coming in on the van though, so he might be staying in the van, I might be staying on the boat. Plus points, we've got sun, and as such we've got solar, so that's cool. So as the light fades, here on the River Avon, we have lost the landing, and yeah, I think with the current we're going to lose more of this green area, more of the grassland. I don't know whether you can see the current, but yeah, I think we're going to struggle. I think for balance I've just got to pole out so I can get up and down the ramp. Currently the dogs are doing it. For how long much more we'll have access to the land, I don't know. Wish us luck. So unfortunately, as per my fears, we're losing the land, so I've had to kick the dogs off. They're going to stay with Dave in that very tiny van. It's not going to be a great night for him. Yeah, gangplank's gone, water. We're now up to the tree. Where Dave is where the van is. That's a worry because I've told him to leave. And we're very much, can you shine it on the pole? We're nearly level with the top of the pole that Dave's not shined the torch on. Bye, Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Yes, you didn't appear in this video.
No,
you did briefly.
Yeah, you could just see me on the bankside holding a torch.
You've just watched Narrowboat Changing Pace being prepared for flooding. There is only a smidgen that you can control. It's a smidgen of what I was able to do. Worst case scenario for me came true. I had to, well, we decided within half an hour of you being home, to take the boats off the dog.
to take the dogs off the boat.
Really wanted to apologise for the audio. It was extremely windy. I did want to demonstrate to you how I prepare the boat for flooding, or for the incoming, for want of a better word, tide.
Deluge of water.
Wow, I would have never have come up with that one.
It's on the dictionary this morning.
Yeah, so that's how I prepare it, but obviously you really need to contact Canal and River Trust, or whatever waterways authority you're on. You need to partnership with them. They will advise you accordingly, but more importantly, you're making yourself known to them, and that worked very well in this instance.
During the year, really, you can have heavy rain at any time, but more so in the winter, with the changeable conditions, you've got to be prepared for rivers to flood. It's not like the canals,
they do flood.
They do flood, but very rarely.
And they do breach.
But on rivers, it's more of when they're going to do it rather than if they're going to do it.
Ploughman said, he's the gentleman from the
Avon River Trust.
Avon Navigation Trust, sorry. He's the gentleman. He said that when it snows, that is the worst
case scenario.
Because
when the snow melts, it all comes into the river at once.
Oh, so, yes, it's the timing.
Yeah, so it's not a gradual like the rainfall, where you're getting gradual amounts of water into the river. If you've had 2 or 3 days of snow and it's all settled, as soon as it melts, all that water gushes into the river, and it's the worst case scenario for flooding.
And I think that's what happened to ours, because a lot of other vloggers were putting out, frozen in and snow, and we got the other end of that spectrum. We got all of their snow, which was interesting. It was slightly different to when at the back end of last year when I got marooned on the River Severn.
Yeah, the River Severn, the pontoons are floating pontoons at the mornings. So you tie up to the pontoon and the whole thing goes up the pole. So it was better for us or Louise in that situation because she could get the dogs off the boat onto the pontoon.
Whereas on the River Avon, they have the flood poles, but they don't have floating pontoons. So the mooring landing is stationary, it's concrete. And
although the boat's safe,
and
you just can't get on and off the boat.
You can to a certain degree with the gangplank, but there comes a time where the gangplank's not. Well, how do you secure a gangplank? If you know, put it in the comments below, because
have a longer gangplank.
Yeah, we're struggling with our gangplank. How long is our gangplank?
It's only 6 foot, but it's not a gangplank. It's not like a lot of people use scaffolding boards as gangplanks, which are all right for humans, but you're not going to get a Great Dane to walk down a 10-foot scaffold pole.
You can put two together.
She just wouldn't do it.
Well, she wouldn't do it because she can't get a grip with her nails, which is why the AstroTurf works really well. And on our metal gangplank, we put carpet on that, but she still prefers the AstroTurf one that Vicky and Mike gave to us.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
It was just a bit of a surprise when I got back to the boat how quickly the water had come up.
Dave did manage to get on the boat. He was on here for 30 minutes.
If that.
He came on and he brought the shopping home, so I had
provisions,
supplies, and he just got kicked off. And the dogs went off as well with the dog food.
We really sort of like had to make a decision quickly. If we'd have left it an hour, I don't think the dogs would have got off the boat.
I think we might have been able to carry Otto, but I don't think we would have been able to carry Willow. She'd have freaked out.
Yeah, and two of us trying to carry Willow down the gangplank in the dark. It was just the safest, sensible thing to do. Luckily, I come home in the van.
I was lucky.
And we had got the choice there to make. It didn't mean leaving Louise on the boat on her own.
It was lonely.
And with the advice from the gentleman from the Avon Trust, he said the car park floods, so I did leave and come back Saturday morning. I didn't want to get stranded in the car park in the van with Louise stranded in the river on the boat.
We are going to run the flooding days.
The subsequent days.
Yeah. One after the other. So for Saturday's instalment, do tune in tomorrow.
Whichever day that is.
I can assure you there'll be water involved.
Lots of it.
If you have enjoyed this episode, do give us a thumbs up.
Consider subscribing if you haven't already.
If you have any questions, tips, hints, or...
However, any comments are greatly received.
Yeah.
Do bear in mind, this is not an how-to video. It's how we do it. Please do comment on if you think we could do it.
Oh, a better way, yeah. And also the gangplank, that I'd be interested in how you would do the gangplank. We will see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great evening, whatever you're getting up to. Take care, look after yourselves.
Bye.
Bye.